Here's a hidden blueprint to learning faster than 99% of students. I used to waste hours studying, only to forget everything the next day. You know the drill, spending all day with your textbooks, rewatching lectures over and over, and highlighting pages until they look like a rainbow exploded on them. Then, when test day rolls around, you freeze. Your brain shuts down and suddenly you can't remember anything. Sound familiar? The truth is, most people study the wrong way their entire lives. You think you're doing everything right, but you're not. Let me show you why and how you can fix it. What if you could remember everything after studying it just once? What if you could walk into exams feeling calm and confident because the information actually stuck? Imagine if learning didn't feel like this endless, exhausting grind, but instead was something that flowed easily and naturally. That's totally possible, but only when you stop fighting your brain and start working with it. Here's where most of us mess up. We think studying is about reading and rereading the material over and over again. You sit there, eyes glazing over the same paragraph for the 5th time, hoping it'll magically sink in. But your brain checks out. You're being passive. It's like information is washing over you while you're zoning out in the background, like Netflix or TikTok. The problem is your brain evolved to remember things that are useful for survival, finding food, avoiding danger, solving problems. It doesn't care about sitting quietly with a textbook. So when you're just reading and rereading, your brain's like, nah, this is probably useless info, and dumps it. But here's the good news. You're not bad at learning. You're just using methods that work against how your brain is designed to process information. Once you learn to study in a way that works with your brain, learning becomes way easier and faster. The solution: active recall. Stop rereading, start retrieving. Your brain strengthens memories when you force it to pull information out of your brain, not when you keep trying to shove more information in. Reading feels productive, but it's shallow. Active recall feels tough at first, but it's deep, meaningful processing, and that's where the magic happens. When you struggle to remember something and then finally get it, your brain goes, whoa, this matters, and it creates a stronger connection to that memory. The struggle is actually what makes it stick, so don't shy away from it. Here's how you can apply this. After reading a section, close the book. Then write down everything you remember. Don't cheat, no peeking. Let yourself struggle. Try your best to recall what you read, and then check what you missed. Do this every single time you study. Flashcards can help too, but only if you use them right. Forget about writing down simple facts like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Instead, write questions like what organelle produces ATP and why is it essential? This forces your brain to think and make connections instead of just memorizing surface-level facts. Also, study in short bursts. Your brain focuses best in 25 to 30-minute chunks. Stop before you start feeling drained. Take a break and then come back to it. This technique, called spaced repetition, is way more effective than cramming for hours on end. The spacing between study sessions helps reinforce memories. And test yourself constantly. Teach the material to someone else. If you can't explain it simply, you don't really understand it. Try talking it out loud, writing practice essays, or solving problems without looking at the solutions first. Pretend you're the teacher and you're explaining it to your best friend. That's how you know if you've really mastered it. Oh, and sleep? It's a non-negotiable. Your brain consolidates everything you learned while you're sleeping. Pulling an all-nighter might feel productive in the moment, but it actually messes up the entire learning process. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night to make sure your brain can do its job of solidifying memories. Also, stop with the highlighting, the cued notes, and the copying slides. Sure, they feel like studying, but they're just procrastination in disguise. These activities are passive, which means your brain isn't fully engaged. You're fooling yourself into thinking you're working, when really, you're not. Instead, quiz yourself, teach others, do practice problems. These techniques actively engage your brain and force it to retrieve the info, strengthening those neural connections. Here's the bottom line. The students who learn fast aren't necessarily smarter. They just use their brains in a different way. They retrieve information instead of passively reviewing it. They struggle a bit, but that's what makes it stick. They test themselves instead of tricking themselves into thinking they know the material just because they read it once. You have the same brain as those students who seem to have it all figured out. You just need to use it differently. Try this out today. Pick a topic, read it once, close the book, and write down everything you remember. Don't cheat, no peeking.
Let yourself struggle. Try your best to recall what you read, and then check what you missed. Do this every single time you study. Learning fast isn't about talent, it's about technique. And now you've got the technique. Go put it to work.